I should have known something was wrong the moment I walked into the kitchen that morning, but I was still foolish enough to believe in them. The two people I trusted most in the world, Anna, my sister, and Willow, my fiancée. The air was thick, not with love or family warmth, but with a cold tension so sharp it felt like glass slicing through my chest. Anna sat there, her posture rigid, eyes scanning me with a mixture of disdain and amusement that I couldn't quite place. Willow stood nearby, arms crossed, her smile tight and forced, like a blade hidden beneath silk. "You're late," Anna said, voice dripping with sarcasm, not even bothering to hide her irritation. "I was working late," I replied, trying to keep my voice calm, hoping maybe this was just a bad morning. Willow's eyes flicked to me, narrow and calculating. "Working late on what, exactly? Because last I checked, the project's been slipping through your fingers." A sharp pang hit my chest, but I swallowed it. "I'm doing my best. This project means everything to me." Anna let out a bitter laugh, the sound cruel and mocking. "Meaning doesn't pay the bills, George. It doesn't impress the investors. You've been stumbling around like a child lost in the dark." I felt anger rise, burning hot and fierce, but I forced myself to breathe, to stay steady. "I built this from nothing. I've poured my life into this project. You think I'll let you or anyone else take that away from me?" Willow's smile twisted, cold and merciless. "Take it away? George, it's already slipping. We all know you can't handle the pressure. Ethan's the one with the vision, the drive. We're just trying to save what you're about to destroy." My hands clenched into fists at my sides. Ethan. That name hit like a fist to my gut. The man I barely knew, the stranger who was supposed to be a business partner, was becoming a wedge between me and the people I loved. "You don't know what you're talking about." Anna stood up, eyes blazing with cruel fire. "No, George, it's you who doesn't understand. You're a liability. You've been holding us back, making us look weak. We don't need you anymore." The words stabbed deeper than any physical blow. I looked at them, my own blood, my own future, and I saw not love or loyalty, but betrayal. The rest of the day was a nightmare. At the office, I overheard whispered conversations and saw sideways glances. Meetings were held behind closed doors where I wasn't invited. I found out that Anna had been secretly emailing Ethan, cutting me out of plans, making deals in my name, but Willow acted cold, distant, her once warm touch replaced by icy rejection. The project I had nurtured was slipping away from me, and I was powerless to stop it. When I confronted Anna in the hallway, her face was a mask of superiority. "Stop pretending, George. Everyone knows you're weak. Ethan is the future. You're a relic." "I'm not weak," I said through gritted teeth. "You just don't want to see the truth." Willow joined her, eyes shining with cruel delight. "Truth is, you're nothing but a burden. We're better off without you." The humiliation was unbearable. Days blurred into nights filled with sleepless torment. I watched helplessly as my reputation was dismantled piece by piece. Willow spread rumors that I was unstable, unreliable. Anna leaked false information painting me as incompetent and untrustworthy. Doors slammed in my face, investors pulled out, colleagues turned away, and friends disappeared. The loneliness was suffocating, but worse was the coldness in their voices whenever they spoke about me, as if I had ceased to exist. Then came the final blow. I discovered that Anna and Willow, with Ethan's full knowledge, had signed the patent and the contract behind my back, stealing my work, my dreams, and my future. I confronted them one last time, desperation making my voice crack. "How could you? After everything?" Anna's sneer was venomous. "You were always weak, George. You deserve to be left behind." Willow's eyes were cold, merciless. "We did what we had to do. You'd have failed anyway." I left them that night, heart shattered, soul broken. The streets were dark and empty, the cold biting deep into my skin and bones. I thought about every wasted year, every lie, every betrayal, and with numb resignation, I stepped into the dark, hoping the pain would finally end. But death was not the end. I woke up gasping, drenched in sweat, heart pounding like a war drum, back in my room 3 years earlier, the day before the presentation, the day everything started to unravel. I had been given a chance to rewrite the story, to stop the knives before they found my back. And this time, I wouldn't just survive, I would make them pay. That morning, waking up in my old room felt like slipping into a nightmare rewritten with brutal clarity. I remembered everything, every betrayal, every vile word Anna and Willow had spewed to tear me down, But now I had the power of memory, of hindsight, and cold, unyielding resolve. The moment I stepped into the kitchen, their poisonous words filled the air like a storm ready to break. Anna sat there, smirking, eyes sharp as knives. "You're late, George. Predictable as always." Her voice was, but I no longer felt like the broken man she thought she ruled over. Willow, standing close by, smiled that practiced, cruel smile of hers, the one that hid contempt behind false sweetness. "Working late again must be exhausting pretending you're in control." I met their eyes calmly, my voice steady and colder than the frost outside. "Good morning, Anna. Good morning, Willow." For a moment, their smirks faltered, confusion flashing in their eyes. "You look different," Anna said, suspicious. "More confident, or is it just another one of your delusions?" Willow leaned forward, voice sharp as glass. "Confidence won't save you when Ethan finds out what you've been up to." I let a slow, cold smile spread across my face. "Ethan won't find out because I control the story now. And I'm not here to plead or beg. I'm here to take back what's mine." The chill in my voice unsettled them. For years, they thought me weak, broken, and defeated. But today, I was the storm they never expected. At the office, I watched their every move, the act, noting the sneers and whispered plots behind my back, and quietly began setting my trap. I accessed the emails Anna thought were secret. Her collusion with Ethan was laid bare in cold black and white. Their scheming, their lies, their greed, everything they'd done to bury me was now ammunition. I didn't confront them immediately. I let the poison simmer, watching Willow attempt to undermine me in meetings, her voice dripping with false concern. "George, maybe you should step aside before you embarrass yourself further." But I was ready. I revealed the evidence, her secret deals, Anna's betrayals, their underhanded attempts to steal the project. The room went silent, shock etched on every face. Willow's fake sympathy vanished, replaced by sharp venom. "You're playing a dangerous game, George," I smiled darkly. "I'm playing the only game left, survival." Anna's fury boiled over in a private confrontation. "You think this changes anything? You're still nothing but a pawn, a relic of the past." I met her gaze without flinching. "Pawns become kings, Anna. You just haven't learned that yet." Willow tried to manipulate me with feigned tears and promises, but I saw the lies beneath. "Save it," I said coldly. "I'm not the fool you left me for." My moves were surgical and relentless. I quietly bought key shares through anonymous accounts, turning allies against them with truths they'd hoped to keep buried. Ethan's trust in them wavered as their lies unraveled. Anna and Willow grew desperate, their insults and threats more venomous, but I was shielded by a calm I never knew I could hold. I watched them crumble in private, Anna's rage spilling out in bitter accusations at Willow, Willow's sharp retorts like poisoned darts. Their alliance shattered under the weight of their failures. One night, I overheard them fighting. "It's your fault Ethan pulled away," Anna snarled. "You never cared about this company, just your schemes. You think you're better, you're just bitter you lost control." Their toxicity was a weapon, but now it was aimed inward, destroying them from the inside. I received a call from Ethan, his voice trembling, full of uncertainty and fear. "George, we need to talk. This isn't how it should be." I let him stew in his doubt. "Funny how the tables turn," I said. "You thought you could use us all. Now you're the one left in the dark." The empire Anna and Willow built on lies and betrayal was cracking, and I was the force shattering it. I wasn't just surviving, I was taking everything back, piece by piece, with no mercy and no regret. And this was only the beginning. Anna's usual smug confidence had finally begun to crack. I saw it clearly the day I cornered her in the glass-walled conference room, the one she thought was her fortress. She stood with arms crossed, trying to mask the panic in her eyes with a forced smile, but it faltered the moment I spoke. "You've been slipping, Anna. Investors are asking questions. Funny how your brilliant plans suddenly look like a house of cards." Her voice was sharp, trembling with barely concealed rage. "You think you're clever? You're a dead man walking, George. This company is ours, not yours. You're just an obstacle we'll erase." I didn't flinch. I stepped closer, voice cold and deliberate. "Erase me all you want, but I'm the reason this company exists, and soon I'll be the reason it collapses." Anna's breath hitched, and for a moment I saw the fear beneath her cruelty. Willow, always quick to poison the room, wasn't far behind. She smiled thinly, but there was no warmth there, only calculated malice. "You're nothing but a traitor, George. You betrayed us first." I laughed softly, a sound empty of humor. "I was betrayed before I ever betrayed you. But if you want to talk betrayal, let's not forget who signed those contracts behind my back, who stole my ideas, who used Ethan to kick me out." The room seemed to close in, tension so thick it was suffocating. Willow's lips curled into a sneer. "You think you're untouchable now? Ethan controls everything. He's the future." I leaned in, voice a razor's edge. "Ethan's as scared as you are. Rumors of your backstabbing are spreading. No one trusts a liar." Their fragile alliance began to crumble in front of me, their masks slipping. At the next board meeting, I laid out the evidence in cold detail: the emails, the secret deals, the manipulation. The faces around the table shifted from surprise to disgust. Willow tried to regain control, her voice shaking as she spat. "This is a desperate attempt to save face." Anna glared at me, her fury barely contained. "You'll regret this. We control everything. Your career, your life. You'll see." I smiled, calm and collected. "Maybe, but I've already seen the end of your game." Behind closed doors, the fighting grew worse. I caught snippets of their arguments, the blame, the accusations, the venom. "It's your fault Ethan pulled away," Anna screamed. "You never cared about this company, just your own selfish games." Willow shot back. "You think you're better? You're bitter because you lost control." Their hatred for each other burned hotter than anything they ever directed at me, and I watched with cold satisfaction as their empire cracked. Ethan called me one evening, voice laced with doubt and desperation. "George, we need to meet. This isn't how it was supposed to go." I let the silence stretch before replying. "Funny how the tables turn. You thought you could use us all. Now you're the one left scrambling." Their reign, built on lies and betrayal, was falling apart, and I was the wrecking ball. I moved faster, buying key shares anonymously, turning allies against them with truth and evidence. The more I exposed, the more isolated they became. Anna and Willow's insults became desperate, venomous attacks, but they no longer scared me. I had grown stronger, sharper, a force they could no longer contain. And as I watched their world crumble, I knew this was only the beginning. I was no longer the broken man they had cast aside. I was the reckoning they had ignored for far too long. The moment had come. Years of pain, betrayal, and humiliation all boiled down to this final day. The day I tore apart the fragile world Anna and Willow had built on lies and backstabs. They thought I was dead, gone forever, a faded memory to be mocked and erased. But I was here, reborn, stronger, sharper, and I was ready to bring ruin to the two who had treated me worse than an enemy. I stood in the grand conference room, the glass walls reflecting their stunned faces as the board members gathered, buzzing with whispers and barely contained shock. Anna's eyes were wide, her carefully constructed mask slipping for the first time, revealing raw panic. Willow's usual cold confidence shattered like glass, replaced by a flicker of fear she desperately tried to hide. I held in my hand the final, undeniable evidence, documents revealing their deepest, darkest betrayals, forged contracts, stolen ideas, secret bribes, and worse. Every lie, every secret, every knife twisted in my back was laid bare for all to see. I didn't just expose them, I destroyed their credibility piece by piece, dismantling their power until nothing remained but hollow shells of their former selves. Anna tried to fight back with accusations, her voice shaking with rage and desperation. "You'll regret this. You think you can win? You're finished, George." I smiled coldly, voice dripping with ice. "I was finished the day you and Willow decided I was expendable. Today, I am justice." Willow's scream cut through the room like a blade, but it was too late. The board voted unanimously to remove them both from all positions, stripping them of their shares and power. I watched as their empire collapsed in real time, the two of them left powerless, humiliated, and broken. Their whispered plots to bring Ethan back to their side failed. He abandoned them without hesitation, disgusted by their treachery and cowardice. I took my rightful place at the head of the company, not as the weak, broken man I once was, but as the master of my destiny. And I made sure that no mercy was granted. The years of emotional torture, they would feel tenfold reflected back in every glance, every whisper, every betrayal they had inflicted on me. Anna's attempts to slander me were met with silence. Willow's desperate pleas for forgiveness were ignored. I was no longer the victim. I was the reckoning. Alone in the quiet after the storm, I allowed myself a moment of cold satisfaction, knowing that my revenge was complete. I had risen from the ashes of their lies, unbreakable and untouchable. The world they tried to steal from me was mine again. But there was no joy, no relief, only a dark, unshakable resolve that if anyone ever dared cross me again, they would face a reckoning far worse than Anna and Willow ever imagined. I was reborn from betrayal, and now I was the nightmare they'd never escape.